welcome you all here tonight. We call to order the regular meeting of the West Valley City Council. We note that we have 6 council members present, a quorum. Councilman Don Christensen is excused tonight. Just checking to see if we have any scout troops, and I can't oversee over to that side, so I don't think so, but just some guests tonight, I guess. Okay. Next on our agenda are the minutes. I need a motion on the minutes to approve the minutes of February 26th.
You passed my item.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, the opening ceremony. Yeah. Oh, I got that's
fight
why.
for that.
I got to close this and use the paper copy. Whenever I do the electronic, I skip stuff. So be sure, from now on, that's your job. Make sure I close that. Okay. Now I can get on here. Number 3, opening ceremony. Return to council member Tom Hume.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that very much. I got a specialty tonight, so that is when I fight hard for tonight, Mayor. I invite Jake Aslanian will come up and give the opening prayer for us for the meeting, regular meeting tonight, please.
Thank you. Our Heavenly Father, as we are gathered together in this municipality setting, as mayor and council and staff of West Valley City, we give you thanks for the opportunity that we live upon this earth on a free land of this great land of America, and to have the opportunity, be able to have a voice to be heard freely. We're indeed grateful and thankful that we have leadership that manages, guides, and directs the affairs of the city, West Valley City. We're indeed grateful for the opportunity that we have as citizens to be able to voice our opinions and be able, without any criticism, to be heard. Thou bless us this evening that we may do so likewise, have an opportunity to speak, an opportunity to be heard. To that end, we ask for their blessings upon this assembly and the citizens of West Valley as they are led by this body. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you. Okay, now I got through the ceremony and special recognitions. Now we're down to the minutes.
Mayor, move for approval of the minutes of February 26, 2019.
Second.
Properly forced, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. It passes unanimously. The minutes are approved. Next, we go to item 6, our Employee of the Month Award. Councilman Bueller.
Thank you, Mayor. The employee of the month is Sergeant Ammon Fox from the police department. Are you here? Sergeant Fox, would you stand up so we can appropriately recognize you? And I will read the nomination, which was submitted by Vicki Jepson. Sergeant Ammon Fox goes above and beyond every single day in many different ways. He helps to create needed programs for the city, including mental health court and autistic juvenile registration. He has spent many hours creating policy, which involves meeting with multiple departments and agencies and training those involved with how to respond and deal with unique situations. Above and beyond these tasks, he and his friends have made sure that officers working the holidays were taken care of with meals, spending a great amount of their own money to purchase the food, set up tables, preparing all the food, and cleaning up the facility afterwards. The latest amazing show of how great of an example Ammon is happened at the end of the year. We learned that an 8-year-old nephew of the mental health probation coordinator had come with his family to visit for the holidays and ended up being diagnosed with stage 4 glioblastoma multiforme, an aggressive terminal form of cancer. 8-year-old Perrin Miller had brain surgery 2 days before Christmas and was scheduled to start aggressive chemo and radiation on New Year's Day. With 24 hours notice, we were able to coordinate with our SWAT and command staff, K-9 units from other agencies, and arrange for a party for Perrin and his family to make him an honorary officer for a day in West Valley. The family was picked up in the Bat X SWAT vehicle and escorted to the city to be welcomed by multiple canines and their handlers. Sergeant Fox presented Perrin with an altered West Valley uniform shirt to fit him and walked him through a ceremony with a signed certificate from the chief, announcing Perrin as an officer for the day, helped him sign on duty with dispatch over the radio, and assisted him in arresting his aunt with handcuffs. The K-9 unit gave a K-9 demonstration, and Perrin was able to meet several of the dogs. He was given a gift basket full of various police merchandise and personal model cars donated by Officer Carver. There were 35 pizzas and drinks ordered and paid for out of pocket to feed those that came. Media was not notified or invited to the event, so the family could enjoy their time together, though many pictures and videos were taken to document this special occasion. Sergeant Fox is an amazing example of someone who constantly goes above and beyond, put others' needs before his, and is passionate about helping those in need, both inside the department and out in the community. And thank you, Sergeant Fox. Come up and we want to shake your hand. We got this for you. And this for you. It's like Christmas. Wow. And you can put this up anywhere you like. That's awesome. And then catch speeders that go by.
That's the coolest part. Yes.
Show your street sign. Thank you, Chief.
He does a nice one. He takes a selfie.
Congratulations. Sergeant Fox, if there's anything you'd like to say, that would be okay. If you'd like to stay, that would be okay. If you'd like to go, that would be okay as well.
Just thank you, appreciate it.
And thank you for your service.
Next, we have our comment period. We have two people who have signed up, and since they've done it before, I believe, we'll just go ahead with this. Let's see. Michael Khalil.
Thanks for talking to us in the meeting before, but let me kind of reiterate a little bit of everything. Is that you know, the concrete company is not a house. It's a business that is like directly east. It's not like we're east, and we have a house right next to us on the east side. Then the house east of that side is a business, a working business with 0 hours. They run all hours of the night. They have storage and everything. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but they don't have fencing or anything like that. And then of course to 7-Eleven to the west is 24 hours, and then to the north is all industrial. And then I actually personally went around and discussed with everybody the hours. People didn't even care if we even worked past 10 o'clock. They said, if you just keep it down, we don't care. And so I kind of just wanted to throw that at you guys. And just to kind of reiterate, the 8 to 6 is we did not pay a discount for that. We paid fair market value for that. And then, you know, a couple people actually brought up good is better. Good is better is as we bought, you know, an 8,400 square foot building. That's going to bring taxes to the city. We are actually renting out 6,000 square feet, which is going to bring personal property taxes. We're working with a granite countertop company. They have large industrial equipment. And so that should be our good personal equipment. Employees, which would go to 7-Eleven and the surrounding areas to eat, and they have to pay the taxes as well. You know, and then as well as driving, you know, they have, you know, they have to get gas, and they'll probably, you know, fill up at Holiday or somewhere to get gas or to go to the surrounding areas. We're really not asking for a 24-hour. I'm just asking for just kind of from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., which goes along with the noise ordinance, because it is going to be light manufacturing. And so let's just make it easier on us. I am working really hard to find somebody from 8 to 6. But it's just really not. We're getting a lot of hits because it's a really nice building out there. And we're just trying to just do the right thing and bring everything in. And, you know, it's kind of hard to ingest because I understand that 8 to 6, which the previous owner was going to personally keep himself, but he didn't. So I inherited that, and that's fine. We just try to work hard, and if we're not able to get it, then we will just work harder to just try to find somebody to just do the right thing. But it's kind of hard to ingest that everybody around us has a 0 restriction, and then here we are from 8 to 6. If you guys even want to just like grant us a year conditional use, you know, to see if any of the people, you know, have any complaints, you know, and after a year, if we don't have any complaints, then maybe you guys can adopt that, the 7 to 10, but maybe just give us a conditional use or something like that. And again, the neighbor directly east of me, he said, hey, I'll do anything that what we can do. And the south people are really nice. I actually got to meet all the neighbors, which is really nice. And none of them really had an issue. They said, you know, again, we don't care if you're out past 10, just be respectful of the noise ordinance. And, you know, so it's my job to make sure that we respect that. So anyway, I'm just asking for, please, from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. I honestly, personally don't see a big issue because it's moving that way anyway. But maybe just give us a little leeway for a year, trying to get somebody in, and if there's issues or problems, then we can address those problems, and definitely we'll make sure when they move in that 10 o'clock is 10 o'clock. You know, you can't be loud. There's no outside storage. I understand that, which is nice for us because we don't want a big mess. And so I'm completely fine with outside storage not being allowed. But anyway, I just hope you guys consider that. And again, thanks for taking it up again and discussing it. And I hope you reconsider, you know, the 7 to 10 a.m. because it will be. It is. You know, good is better is by bringing people in, paying gas, paying personal property tax, and all that stuff. So anyway, thanks.
Thank you. Next is Mike Markham.
Mike Markham. I'm probably different than a lot of you because we were talking about taxes in there in the study meeting. I don't think you should ever cut taxes. We need to broaden the base, but don't cut taxes because people are used to paying those taxes. I've supported every tax increase West Valley City has proposed. I talked to Karen Main. She agrees with me. We shouldn't cut taxes if they need more money. Let's look where the money's going to and broaden the base. But there's so many hidden areas that they want to charge for services. I'm going to have to find out how the water company's going to want me to tax for the water that I sell to the people up at my cabin. I mean, there's so many things in there that, you know, but as y'all know, our legislators up there on the Hill know better than any of us when it comes to anything, regardless of what it is or what their profession is. They know better. But we should never reduce taxes, in West Valley. I even disagree with utility companies when they say, okay, we're going to give you a $20 a year reduction in your utility bills. People are used to paying that, but they will remember when they say, okay, we're going to raise your utility rates. People remember raising, but they don't remember going down. So they need to just keep the taxes even and then expand the base in some test areas. But like I just said, and the governor doesn't care. He's not going to run for re-election. He's got to get involved in all the real estate that's down at the prison when all that comes up. You know, he came out of real estate, he's going right back into real estate. Same way with his buddy down there in Draper. They're going to be into that real estate business clear up over their ears. You know, and then they act so naive when so many people will say, we just don't trust you. Why? You know, how could you not trust all these people? Well, they've proven they can't be trusted. But, you know, I'm totally against reducing taxes. Let's just not raise them and pick up some new areas. And, you know, Mayor, you can pass that on to your buddies that you see every day up there, that We don't need a tax reduction because it's not, people aren't gonna know if it's, give and take a little bit. Just like how many noticed in your federal taxes that it went down. You're just noticing now you're not getting a bigger refund because you got it all year long. Nobody knows that. I didn't spend any more. In fact, I made less last year. So, let's just not mess with taxes. Let's just broaden the base. We need to do that with the city too. I could give you a couple areas where we could broaden the base, but I won't, because then I'd just be sarcastic. But, don't cut the taxes, leave us even. I've already sent some emails to Karen, who I'm really disappointed in as my representative. She may not carry my vote again, but don't cut taxes, don't cut utilities, just go forward, because people don't remember when they're cut, they just remember when they go up. Thanks.
Was there anyone else who was here to please come forward?
Good evening. Hopefully tonight, what I started 5.5 months ago will come to a conclusion. Won't be the last you see of me though. On taxes, I don't know how to, I'm all for keeping them where they're at, and then raising them as we need them, but just to raise them, I don't know about that. Cutting them, everybody likes to get a little bit more money in their pocket, so. For this gentleman here, I would ask, since he didn't, is possibly put on your study meeting docket, which is the next kind of procedure that you have to do, and you guys kind of talked about that. Consider doing that. I asked that on his behalf since he didn't, so I look forward to what happens in a few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Seeing no one else, then we'll close the public comment period. We'll go to our Assistant City Manager. Any comments, sir?
No, sir, thank you.
City Council, any comments? And I would only make one statement on the taxes, and that is I wish the City Council did have some say over what the legislature does with taxes, but we don't. So we go talk to them, and they ignore us. So it's okay. Then item 8. We begin with ordinance 19-07. This is to amend our municipal code to permit or allow residents to have more than 2 dogs or 2 cats at a single address, but no more than 4. So that was the change, is simply to allow a special I guess we could call it a conditional use permit, to say if they meet certain requirements, then our ordinance of only allowing among your 4 pets either 2 dogs or 2 cats. Normally you don't do them together, but who knows. This would just allow in these certain circumstances that if individuals come in and request and agree to the requirements, that they would be allowed to have then 4 dogs and 4 cats. But that would be all the pets that they would have. So we haven't changed the ordinance. It's or, and so you would never go above 4. In the past, we've only allowed 4 pets, of which a maximum of 2 could be dogs or 2 cats. So anyway, that's the issue before us. We've discussed it many times, and we're now at that point. To the council.
Exception, is that the?
If you want to make a motion, the floor is yours.
Actually, when he just said special permit, it's almost, that might even fit better, but it's that special permit.
Special pepper.
Well, not special pet permit, special permit like we do, no, conditional is what it was. Conditional use type permit.
Pet permit.
Yes. Because it is on condition of being able to take care of them where you don't have neighbors complaining. So it is conditional on you being a responsible pet owner.
Exceptional pet permit.
When he said conditional permit, I thought, that sounded good.
Actually, I wasn't trying to suggest a name, I was just trying to get the concept across to the public, but
But we do have conditional use permits for other things, so. Anyway. Just add one more log to the fire.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this ordinance. I don't have the number here.
1907.
1907. With the amendment that we change the title of the permit from hobby to conditional use permit.
The attorney over there's giving us the weirdest look ever.
Mr. Bunderson.
Eric Bunderson, City Attorney. I think that particular title, without any other explanatory language, would tend to get confused with the other conditional use permits that we have in Title VII and everything else. That might not be my advice would that's not the best language to put there.
So before I finish my amendment, I'd like to change the
Pet, conditional use pet permit.
Is that enough of a difference? He says yes.
How about exception permit?
You have to say pet.
Pet,
Exception pet permit or pet exception permit? I don't know.
Pet exception.
Let's go with pet exception permit.
Second.
Properly before us. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll turn to our city recorder and we'll take the roll call vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Bueller.
Aye.
Councilman Hume.
aye.
Councilman Nordfeld.
Yes.
And Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you very much. Done. Fine. Okay, next we go to ordinance 19-08. And this is to amend a section of our code which deals with fees specifically for the Parks and Recreation. In this consolidated fee schedule, there was a change that was going to be made, and while they were looking at that, they discovered a few other items. These dealt with the Family Fitness Center, the golf courses, and the pavilion. The intent was at the pavilion, they required a deposit that didn't really work, and so there is a fee to rent the pavilions. So they modified that, eliminated that, and while they were doing, they found some other ones that were inaccurate, some that they were charging that weren't on the schedule, and then so those are kind of the things we're doing, nothing too unusual. We did eliminate or consolidate some of the fees at the fitness center, so they were a little more, there were too many different categories, they just consolidated them. So it seemed like a good thing to do and made more sense, so that is the issue before us. So any comments or to the council for any motions?
Mayor, I move for approval of ordinance 19-08.
Second.
Properly before us, any further comments? Seeing none, to our city recorder.
Councilman Nordfeld.
Yes.
Councilman Hume.
Aye.
Councilman Bueller.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
And Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next we go to item 9 on our agenda for resolutions. We have resolution 19-20. This is an interlocal agreement between the city and the county. Their elections division for the upcoming vote. They provide services and have for a number of years for the 2019 primary and general municipal elections, city elections, if you will. And so the budget is that it will not exceed, and I'm going to round this, I 75 cents, no. $180,199 is what they are charging us to run the election for the city. That is in generally kind of in line with what we've paid in the past. I think, as we discussed earlier, the only change that the county is proposing is a reduction, at least, of the early voting, because it was so very, very light. I think, what were the two? 17 was here, and the other one was 27? 23. So it isn't financially feasible to do that for those few voters, so we will either drastically reduce the time or possibly eliminate that altogether. Anyway, that's will be taken into consideration. It won't exceed the number that we said, but if their costs are lower, then we will pay a little bit less. And they do all of the work in conjunction with the election. We will still have some polling places within the city. We're not exactly sure how many. We're working that out now. But of course, most of the election will be done by mail-in ballots. But they have to be counted, they have to be verified, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And of course, they send them out. That includes everything to do with the election. Did I cover everything? With that then, to the council.
Mayor, I would add that this is, the to not exceed is a worst-case scenario, which would contemplate a primary in every race and a recount in every race, and we expect the bill to come in much less than this. And with that, I would move for approval of Resolution 19-20.
Second.
Properly before us, any further comments? Seeing none, to our city recorder.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Bueller.
Aye.
Councilman Hume.
Aye.
Councilman Nordfeld.
Yes.
And Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 19-21. This is toward a contract to Intellen Design Build for construction of our Public Works and Parks Operations facilities. The contract was put out to bid, and we had a number of people respond to that. And this particular bid was the best one, $10,083,800. Little different, yeah. Getting those zeros. And they came in with the best bid, and these were all qualified proposals, but that was the that differential on price, and it was verified that they could do it for that. So that proposal was before us. Actually, the amount we're going to approve tonight is $10,500 because we put there $10,500,000. Can't get off the thousands. The difference there is to include any unforeseen circumstances or change orders as may be requested by the city as we go through that, rather than having to go through the whole process again and bring it to the council. And that's routine that we do that, to have a contingency amount in all of our construction. So with that, to the council.
I move for approval of Resolution 19-21.
Second.
Okay, seeing no further comments, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Bueller.
Aye.
Councilman Hume.
Aye.
Councilman Nordfeld.
Yes.
And Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We do have one item on our consent agenda. We put it there just to highlight the fact that it is very routine. This is another one on the 2450 highway, the Beagley Lane. This is actually on Beagley Circle for a right-of-way purchase, accepting a temporary warranty deed and temporary construction easement. So We've done a number of these, and probably still have a few more, not sure, but anyway, that's before us to the council.
Mayor, move for approval of Resolution 19-22.
Second.
Seeing no further comment, to our city recorder.
Councilman Nordfeld,
Yes.
Councilman Hume,
Aye.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Fadisa Manu, and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. There is no need for a closed session. We don't have any of that type of business tonight. So any final comments from the council? If not, then we'll,
Motion to adjourn.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Passes unanimously. We're adjourned.